All right. Hey, cousin Will, how are you?
All is well, family. All is well.
That's good. That's good. It's great to have you here today. How's work and everything been going?
Work is work is good, man. Keeping me busy, as usual. But praise be to God.
Amen. Amen.
Yes, sir.
All right. I must say I brought you in today because this is an oral history interview that I'm doing for my school. It's an assignment. I'm a student at Youngstown State University. Um, I wanted to, the topic today that we're going to be talking about is I was going to ask you a few questions, but I'm going to be focusing more so on asking you, how was life for you growing up in Youngstown? Just tell me about how it's been for you from the time you were born till now. So.
Life for me growing up in Youngstown, as a kid, was rough. It was very challenging. We were poor. My home circumstances weren't the best. We made do. Um, we I had four sisters that I grew up with. I ended up having a brother, but I was an adult by the time he was born. But I grew up with all girls, female siblings. Um, like I said, we were poor. We didn't have a whole lot of stuff, and I was determined not to live like that. My whole objective was to get out of that slump, that poverty slump that I grew up in. I worked hard, finished high school. I wasn't top of my class or anything like that, but I went to school. I did my homework and I graduated. Went into the military. Got a family at a young age. Actually, I became a parent actually while I was in high school. As I said, my home circumstances was not the greatest. It wasn't the most structured, if you will. My mom was a good mother, but my father was MIA, and she had 5 children that she had to take care of. My stepfather ultimately came into the picture, and he did make a difference. He did make a difference. I'm pulling over so I can focus more. Ultimately, had a kid in high school, finished high school, went into the military, got out of the military, went to the police academy, and the rest is history.
All right, that's great to hear. Like you said, there was some, like you mentioned, there's amazing challenges. Some mountains, some hills, and everything that you had to climb.
Absolutely.
But the good part is you made it through them, and like we know, praise be unto God for that. And
Yes, sir.
I
Yes, sir.
wanted to ask as well, like, so since you mentioned and said that you went to the police academy, and everything, like, what were like some challenging like moments you had to face as in that part of your life when it came to going to the police academy?
Um, Honestly, the biggest challenge was getting to school on time. I had a young family. I was working a couple jobs. At that point, I had 2 kids, and it was academically. At that point, I had matured, and I never had a real hard time in school, especially if I put my mind to it. So the academic part of it, the physical part, I had just gotten out of the service. I was 21 years old. I was in tip-top shape. Uh, Unlike now, but
Mhm.
but that was not the issue. Getting through the police academy was not hard at all. Again, it was just getting there and getting on time. Getting there on time was my biggest challenge, and I did for the most part. I missed 1 day out of 6 months of the police academy. So thank God for that.
Amen to that. I'll tell you, I know because time waits on nobody, so it's so it's
This is
like you gotta try to get there as like fast as you can and doing all the best you can to be on time and everything. Um,
exactly.
but another question I want to ask is, I must say, can you tell me about a time, a moment that you had in life that you cherish the most, or
Hands down, hands down, my children being born and successfully raising them through high school, and they all are either already successful or on their way to success. My youngest son is 20 years old. He's in college right now. He finished high school, 4.0 student. All my kids were amazing. That I by far is I like to say is my greatest accomplishment in life is successfully raising my children into a successful or on a path to success. My kids are great. I'm not bragging, but they're mine, so I guess I get to say that.
Right,
But
right.
that's probably the most that's the thing. That's my greatest accomplishment.
Okay, that's good. That's great. I'm moving on. And another question. I wanted to ask, what was your most favorite childhood memory?
Um, my most favorite, honestly, is I was when I was a teenager. I would have been probably about 15 years old. I ran with a bunch of guys. We called ourselves TBC, and it was the Body Clique. There was a song by the rapper Master P from back in the '90s. He had a song that was called About It, and we thought we were tough. We thought we were this, that, and the other. And we would, and this is crazy. We would always get into fights with other people. But I remember one time we all got to a fight. There was dissension amongst us, and we got into a fight with each other. And it was fun but crazy at the same time. It's like best friends fighting. I mean, it was a brawl. And as crazy as that sounds, that's probably the most cherished childhood memory. My childhood was crazy, man. So for me to have that moment to cherish is kind of strange, eccentric, I guess. But yeah, that would be it. It was a good time, but it was crazy. I will never forget that day.
Right. I'm about to say that's good. I'm about to say that's because I know, like, even friends, hey, a real friend, they have their moments, but then we also make up at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's exactly. It took more. It was at the end of the day. I bet you it was more like a week, but eventually we came back together.
Right.
Yep.
So wait. So what side of Youngstown were you raised on, or like?
I was when I was a child, born. My family, my mother and biological father was married at the time. We were on the east side, but when they divorced, we ended up moving to the south side, and that's where we were. Save about a year. I think we stayed on the north side for a short time due to living arrangements. Or something happened with the house we were living on the south side. We had to find somewhere to move. But other than that, I was probably 11 years of my first 18 years of life was on the south side. So I consider myself a south sider.
Of south sider.
South side, yeah.
And I can honestly say here, even with me, well, I can originally say even with us, I'm originally was born in Warren, but was born and raised on the south side as well. So
okay.
Was raised, yep, on the south side of Youngstown, even myself. So that's pretty much all the questions that I do have for you today. Is there anything that you wanted to say to me, or any other questions that you had for me today?
No questions, but man, I want to say thank you, man. I am flattered and honored to have you choose me to do this, man. This is awesome. Anytime I can help, but man, it just sends chills up my back that you considered me to do this, and I appreciate that, man. Thanks.
Look, that's because you family. We
yes,
are family.
Yes,
A
sir.
giant
yes,
tree.
Sir.
I don't know the rest of the lyrics to that song, but hey, and it's
yes,
great
sir.
to hear about history from another family member and how life was for them growing up and challenges and obstacles that they went through. But at the end of the day, I said, because without God's grace and mercy, where would we be? It could have been worse than what it was. But
Absolutely.
because of
God.
God's grace, yes, but God, right? But God.
Yes, sir.
And I said, so, but it was great having you today, and
thanks for having me, man.
More so be talking with you later on.
Okay, man.
All right, see you, cousin.
Talk to you later. Yep, bye.